I'm from Tallinn University and working at the Democrat project. But for about 5 years, I have also been working on a project called Proovikivi. It wasn't called like that before. It was called the GTL Lab, or Locally Transformative Learning Lab. And actually, even before that, it was called something else, but that was before the 5 years time. So the idea is has been developing ever since I was myself in school as a kid. So a long time ago. So I kind of created an outline. In a nutshell, I will be talking about what it is, then the story of how it happened, why formal education, but also youth workers. And here I have to say that maybe it is not the best practice, but we tried a little bit, and maybe there's a lesson there, and we would like to try again. And then what we learned. And then there's also a component of a digital platform, which also has not yet worked out, but I can tell you more about that. So Proovikivi is an educational program to bring project-based learning to schools and also contribute to local community and society development. So we kind of have two transformative aims: to transform the learners, the students and the teachers, as well as have an impact on the community. And what is Proovikivi? In Estonian, it is touchstone, but it has a second meaning also in Estonian language. It's something that kind of tests you and challenges you, and sometimes we use it interchangeably with the word challenge. And when we started, as I said, it was called the GTL Lab. We kind of framed it around 3 Ps: pedagogy, projects, and platform. And at first, we did not quite know what the pedagogy is. We had not yet come to the understanding that, okay, most likely it resembles project-based learning. To talk about the vision of Proovikivi, so it's the pedagogy and projects and the platform, but you can think of it as a pyramid as well, because Proovikivi is centered around these Proovikivis, or these challenges, which is like the middle part here. But these are under various national and local goals. So all the projects that the students and teachers do, or youth workers do, are linked to various kinds of challenges, which in turn are linked to local level goals, national level goals, and global goals, like sustainable development goals. And if we come down here, the logic is that these challenges and in turn the projects lead to actions, which then lead to change. So this is our theory of change in a nutshell. And how we do it is we create these challenges, or we created some challenges. Some were together with partners like an NGO or a company. And we kind of offer those as inspiration to anyone who wants to do projects. Then we ended up developing like a pilot training program for teachers and youth workers. And every year we have also engaged university students as volunteers, and for them it's also part of the learning experience in the school, so in the university. So they do it as an interdisciplinary project. And there have been some attempts at creating a web-based platform. Now, don't click yet. Oh, wait, something happened. I cannot switch. Oh, wait.
Oh, sorry. Now you.
Okay. So, how it started, I think it's important. In 2018 and 19, I was working at Tallinn University in the Center for Educational Innovation. And I have had this idea for a while, and I happened to talk to a colleague, Anu, who is the person in pink, about it. And she had been an English teacher for like 20 years. And she got so excited about this idea and said, okay, let's try it, let's do it. And then somehow Merike, another English teacher who was at the university doing her PhD, also joined. And later on, another English teacher joined, and then actually Mirel, who is sitting here, who was and still is an entrepreneurship teacher, she joined us, and we decided to start exploring what does locally transformative learning look like. So what does it even mean? We had a colleague who came and explained about the transformative learning theory, and then we kind of started thinking about how to do it. Later on, I ended up writing my master's thesis about it, so we got it documented as well. And we found that for us, this locally transformative learning is best explained by pedagogies like project-based learning and education for sustainable development, global citizenship education, place-based learning. We kind of found similarities with all these different kinds of methods that are used. And what was important for us, that it's really situated in real-life challenges and goals, and that young people learn to make connections between their life and local life and what's happening globally. So kind of bridging those levels. And yeah, if you don't know what project-based learning is, it's learning by doing. It's learning through experience, and over an extended period of time, usually you can make short projects, but we found that the best is to do it over a little longer period of time. Starts with some kind of challenge or some kind of real problem, and ends with some kind of practical outcome that the project produces. And it can be very different. Someone can do a campaign or a business or whatever. So different ideas. And here is an example of this first year of experimenting. You can see from an English lesson how they wrote down some ideas, and then they went to the community to ask their neighbors and ask the parents. They interviewed a lot of people. So they went through all these project-based learning steps and created a report, and then the project went forward. So they did many steps, and also engaged with the community. The local municipality got involved. The students went to speak with them. They chose a big old derelict building in the community as their challenge, and they wanted to create a vision for how it might look like and what might be useful for the local youth and the local people. So that was the project in this case. And they learned many skills. This English teacher counted like at least 6 or 7 subjects that were somehow integrated to this project. And in the end, we also went to Helsinki University, where there was a project fair. The Finnish projects were slightly different. They were focused on like maker spaces, creating stuff, and our project was like very community focused, socially focused. And then there's an example of the 6th grade students from a Russian school. And for them, the experience was in some ways similar, but also in some ways more challenging, because they were younger, and it took a lot of effort from the teacher to explain everything. Anyway, anyway, I'll just come to the conclusion. What we learned is that students really changed during that time. They really learned to collaborate. They learned to express themselves, and so forth. And what we also found that they didn't realize that they were learning necessarily. They had forgotten that they got grades. I was interviewing one group, and they were explaining, and they were like, "Oh yeah, it wasn't so stressful. We didn't get any grades." And the teacher was marking some works in the corner of the classroom, and then said, "What? Like, you got so many grades. You got a grade for this and this and this," but they had completely forgotten about it. And they explained how this kind of learning process was just so different from what they are used to. And they didn't feel as stressed, even though they had other stressors in the process, like they were working in a group, they had conflicts that they had to solve, and etc. Yes, and they say things like, "Now I can see I can also change something in the school community. It doesn't have to be through the student council." And yeah, they saw studying as an additional value behind it. But it made the learning more meaningful, and the learning situations occurred within the process naturally. So instead of an English teacher saying, "Hey, we now have to learn about writing the report writing came up naturally because of a need, because they had been collecting data in the community and now they wanted to present the results." So that's what we have been finding throughout the whole process. Yeah. Oh yeah, okay. I have a list of things here as well. Oh, and the teachers said that they had to really change and let go of control, because as they give students the opportunity to make choices, to initiate, then it's a bit uncomfortable to let go. And yeah, it was confirmed that, anyway, the benefits are similar to what has been found in all the previous research about project-based learning, as well as some of the challenges that occur. Then we ended up doing this 1 year of experimentation, went to some incubation programs, and it was by necessity that we created an NGO. And we then continued with scaling up, and our idea of scaling up was to create innovation labs. And this time we also included youth workers. But like the other example here said that it was time of COVID when they started. We also kind of started when COVID started. And we faced some challenges. And what we learned, so we did all together 4 iterations. It was 2 groups within 1 school year. And we found that because in our team we didn't really have any youth workers, we couldn't really cater to the youth workers, and it was a new situation for us as well. They anyway came, they were interested, but we felt like maybe we don't have enough to offer them. And then we found that, okay, the idea was to have youth workers and teachers work together on these projects and collaborate, and then maybe like figure out how to bring the class to the youth center, or the youth worker go to school. But again, none of these things worked out because of COVID. Sorry.
You need some water?
Yes, my throat got dry. Anyway, I could talk many other things here, but I maybe just watch a video and I can go drink some water. This is a more recent video. This is from this past year. Oh, thank you so much. Past year, so a couple of years ago, we started collaborating with the Ministry of Interior Affairs doing a competition where these projects could participate. Okay, the sound is not coming through for some reason. You should be hearing her speaking in English.
Not just music, huh?
Only the music. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so their project was about creating a car park in the school yard. Because they noticed that, or they interviewed the other students in the school, and they asked about how they come to school, by what means of transport, and how they can improve both the health of the students as well as the environment, because driving by car is environmentally not so friendly.
Important at riding bicycle.
No worries. So basically, this is an example of the survey that they did. And they asked all kinds of things, and then they, based on what the feedback they got, all the surveys that they did, they decided to find. They decided that this old garage near the school yard would be the perfect place for that to park the bicycles. And then now they explain like what they did, what they have to do in order to implement this project. And this particular school, they have done it now since the beginning of our project as part of English lessons. The first teacher got another teacher involved, and yes, this is another video. Anyway, there are some other video examples as well. So. And maybe one more lesson to share is that when we first started, we found out that students can come up with some very wild ideas, and part of the challenge for the teacher as the instructor is to manage students' expectations to avoid disappointment. So, for example, some students wanted to create a nuclear power plant, and then it's process to, probably youth workers know it very well, and you get to experience it more often, but for this teacher it was first time. Like, how can you manage these expectations and then kind of not kill the joy and the inspiration and the enthusiasm? Yes, now every year the projects have gotten better, and they are more realistic, and the students get to actually do something, and the school principal ended up establishing a policy, because all the students went to all the school workers to ask, okay, can we do this, and all that. So now they have a few specific days where all the students can ask and share their ideas with the school principal and other from the leadership. So yes, it's some more photos. And a little bit about the platform, which still has not quite worked out, but Darko, if you can go to our website.
The one from the link before.
Yes, okay. But this is
here.
Yes. Okay, why we wanted to create the platform? The idea is that the participants, like teachers and students, can put their projects there under the challenges that they are participating in. Because we don't know otherwise who is doing what or who is really participating. So and the other purpose was to start somehow gathering data about what is being done, how much, what topics are popular, etc. So that now connects to the second part of our vision, which is the societal impact. We were hoping that when actually students have said as well, they would like to know what others are doing in order to maybe collaborate with them and also get inspiration. So if you go to väljakutsed, this part, yes, the next one, yeah, and here you see the Proovikivi, or those challenges. For example, this one here is mental health, like how to improve mental health in Estonia. This is about how to improve youth knowledge about participatory democracy, energy security. There's how to alleviate the loneliness of elderly people. This challenge was given by a social enterprise who take old things and then try to resell them. So there are different kinds that were created. And yeah, the idea is that we would like to make it better and have these student projects there. If you click on any one of those, maybe the mental health one, yeah, and scroll down. So there's a short description about this challenge, and then who is the creator and who are the partners, and maybe a video, something good to know. And if you scroll even more down, there's like more information, if there are any materials about this challenge, etc., and how you might measure the impact you're having with projects under this challenge. And if you go even down, there's some buttons like look at other projects or add your project on the map and things like that. So this is like the very first prototype that we created, because it was the first time ever for us to create a website. So it was a huge learning curve for us. But yeah, this is briefly about the Proovikivi. I think I'm over time, so. Oh, maybe last slide. Last slide, yeah. Or the one before the last slide, 27. Okay, so where we are at the moment. We have because we are a very small team who has been working on this on volunteer basis, has been graduating from PhDs and working full time in all over like places. We haven't had too much time over the past few years to improve things. But we know that we have to make the website better. And last spring, we had a student who developed like an online community space. We want to make that work for teachers and youth workers, and design the course and supporting materials better. There is already something, but basically we see that there are many things to make better. And perhaps also try to create an in-service training where teachers and youth workers can both participate. But I'm hoping that maybe the Estonian delegation who is here, there will be somebody who wants to join us. And maybe the one after, about Democrat. So if you are, there's a little ad in the end. There will be a conference about strengthening democracy through education in Tallinn on 27th to 28th of February. So if this is something you're interested in, you're welcome to join. The conference is for free.